Hey, what is going on, guys? Sorry I'm late for this extra special edition, midweek hump day edition of RC Conspiracies. I was actually trying to get somebody else on with me for this, who I'd been talking with about doing one on Monday, and, well, it didn't work out because I was doing this last minute because of me seeing the announcement from Losi that something is going to be announced tomorrow, some kind of a new truck. And sorry, I'm still trying to get everything dialed in. I was not planning to do this, and I got home about 8:30, 8:45, and so we threw this together real quick because the announcement comes tomorrow, and we want to be in front of it. We want to take a few stabs at what it's going to be, and I actually just got a message from somebody, a fellow RC conspirator, who has an idea of what some of the logoing might mean, that's embedded and kind of hidden on this picture. But it looks like I got a strobing effect going on in the background from my my lighting and the frame rate of this. So let me just see if I can't punch this in and get it. It's the exposure that sets that. There we go. That's better. All right, so we got a few of you guys here in the chat. Let's pop over to the live chat and see what's going on. I was late, so you guys have already been going crazy, complaining about me being 5 minutes late. Sorry about that. And apparently when I set it up, it said I was going to start at 9:40. It didn't really ask me when I wanted to start, and it just kind of said when I was going to or something. But, yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about Losi. I've got a few other things we'll talk about quickly on the way in. There's somebody in here saying, man, there's so many of you guys already in here. Starting earlier as Foundry RC was in here. Strat RC says the only excuse for being this late is that Tony got abducted by RC aliens. Also, 9/11 was a weird start time anyway. Conspiracy. So that's when I actually started putting all of this together, was like 9/11, and it just said that I was going to go live, even though I was doing a scheduled one. But anyway, RC Fest Studio Productions is in here. Scottzilla RC, Roadside RC, and he says the Losi had better be 1/8 or bigger. That is his conspiracy guess. RC Fest Studio Production says, given the radio shown, it will be a $600 truck or higher. That's one of the things I was pointing out as well over on Facebook, was I zoomed in on the pic. So other people in here, now they're saying if the teacher's late for class, do they get to leave? Funny stuff. Wow, there really is a lot of stuff already in here. Midget Man RC says Losi amphibious plane. Sprint car, Scottzilla. Yeah, so we're going to talk about this. Foundry, you did not miss anything. I'm just kind of going through the quick stuff in the chat. And then we're going to pop over here and look at a few things. Run through, of course, the stuff that I need to do, like, say, you guys don't forget to go and check out the merch shop. We've got the RC Conspiracies stickers, the big ones that you can put on your cars on there, as well as t-shirts. Also, That's Not Scale shirts are in there as well, and CCxRC stuff. So it supports the channel, and it allows you to have something cool to wear as well. So there's that. There is the RC Conspiracies group on Facebook, and if you're not a part of that, you should join it. Here's John Kennedy. Net Cruiser RC showing off some new TLR chassis pics, still MIA, but Yokomo just showed a new 4-wheel drive prototype. Pretty cool. Lots of stuff coming from the worlds over there on the other side of the pond. Slovakia, I think. So here's, there were some new Losi things. We're going to look at that because RC Driver has one. The 8xe buggy kit. Another quick conspiracy update is that Red Cat, on one of their posts here, let's blow this up a little bit. Somebody said that when will they see a new version of the ground pounder? This is after we talked about that, and saying that they want it. Are you going to do it? And they said maybe. And there's an animated GIF, and so they are stirring up the RC conspiracies over at Red Cat, and we like that. We sure do. So I just wanted to point that out real quick before we moved on. But the stickers have gone out to those who had were the first 25 people. I did a couple extra, and so those should be coming in the mail to most of you. If you were one of those 25 and you have not received one, let me know and I will mail them. It got crazy because they were coming in from all different places. So Losi does have an announcement here, and you know, some people are like, is that what it's going to be? And so I don't think so, and we'll talk about that. But before we do talk about the Losi, there's a couple other things. You know me, I'm always spying other people's pages. Not really, I'm not a creeper. But I do notice things. I jump on Facebook and it like pops up in my feed. And so I keep my eye on things. And I saw this limited edition thing pop up on Tara RC Martin's page. She works for Horizon. She is awesome. And I was curious about it. And then I actually saw at one point something pop up on a page with a bunch of hashtags and a broken link. So I know what it is, but it's kind of a cool thing, and it's not one of those that I want to steal the thunder of what's coming, because it's their thing, and it's not really a conspiracy type thing. So there's something cool coming from Horizon that is going to be limited edition. Wouldn't it be cool if it was a limited edition Glamisphere? It's not, but what I saw, it does share some of those colors, so that's pretty cool. All right, so that was just a quick little thing. There is something new coming there. So RC Driver, yes, RC Driver just posted a video showing, where did that go? Here it is, the new 8XE. Now I wish I could get super excited about this, but we have no tracks around here, and so it's something I really can't get super excited about. I wish I could, because it's a really awesome buggy update that they've done here. Greg does a super killer job explaining it, super detailed, 20 minutes of like under the body looks at this thing, and it's fantastic. A little bit of run footage here at the end. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Jump back over here to the chat because I see more stuff coming in. RC Monster Mash wonders, is it going to be an infraction killer? Why is everything got to be a killer? Why can't something just be like an appetizer to, or you know, a dessert to your infraction? It's not going to be, because we've already seen where they're running it, and so we'll look at the picture and some of that. James Price jumped in. What is up, man? RC Monster Mash, Wig Splitters, Arma Outcast. Ohio finally made it to the stream. What's up, guys? That's Scott and Maybach. Filthy Co says the fear is near. So yeah, so there's some cool stuff. I don't want to steal thunder on what that is. Let them do their cool release on it whenever it is. But it's going to be very, very soon on that particular thing. So let's go back. I'm going to jump back over to our page here, and we'll take a quick look at what we saw the day after the conspiracies on Monday. This was actually posted Monday. I wish I'd have seen it. September 16th. That's when we were talking about Spektrum. I would have probably kept my Losi conspiracy, because I was guessing that they had something coming up. Now, there's a couple things. We'll take a look at this picture. Over here, we can see there's watermarking of the Fox and the Lucas Oil logos. Fox Racing, Lucas Oil, Griffin Bike Park, Open Mountain Biking. We were all joking that maybe they're coming out with a one-to-one scale RC mountain bike. But it's a classic like advertising shot. That didn't zoom in. How can I zoom in on this? Can we zoom in? Zoom in the page, but not the picture. All right, there we go. So the first thing I noticed was that he's holding the DX2E controller. It does not have the little buttons on the top that the STX2 has. So it's definitely a higher end, which means it probably has AVC installed in it. And so those are some of the things that I was looking at. So it's a little bit higher end vehicle because you're not seeing that until, I mean, what, the Infraction has it. Yeah, so some of the higher end vehicles have it. They're at a bike park. I looked up this bike park, posted it down in the comments below. But it's also going to have some branding on it. One person thought maybe that there's going to be a DB XLE update with a new body. I could see that being run at this place. I don't think that's too far out there. Here's pictures from the US Open that was at that place, I guess, at that bike park. And they're saying that this car might have been it, but that's an ECX, as somebody pointed out. So lots of things going on here, and a few things that I want to look at. And so there's definitely seems like there's going to be something new. I mean, they could pull a Traxxas. As you see, there's a new LaTrax Desert Prerunner, and they list it as new on the site, but it's just a new body. Blue and red, new paint jobs, these little Prerunners. That's not what it is that we're going to talk about. But I was looking over their vehicle lineup and seeing what is listed here. You've got the Mini 8Ts, the Desert Buggy Mini 8, a couple of those. You've got the Rock Ray 1/10 scale, the Tenacity lineup. So you've got the Tenacity short course trucks. You've got the Tenacity Truggy. You've got the Maxxis two-wheel drive short course truck. Another 22 K&N two-wheel drive. And so these have got logoing on them. So maybe there's a new short course truck coming with a new body on it, new Fox scheme to it. You got the Tenacity Desert Buggy four-wheel drive here, $349. Couple colors, those are cool. Night crawlers, that would be interesting, right? Everybody's coming out with crawlers. Maybe they're going to have a new Losi crawler to jump in the crawler game. Baja trucks, you've got the Ford Raptor desert trucks. There's some cool desert trucks they've got. Two-wheel drive, truggy type things in here. So the 8 four-wheel drive buggy nitro, truggy nitro, several nitros in here, 3XLE, the big guys here. So we won't really talk too much about those. What I don't see is any of the 10 lineup in here. They had the Losi 10 RTRs before. There was a monster truck, and there was it was kind of like a desert buggy. I don't remember the name of it, but there was one. Basically, the Tenacity lineup was, there was the 10 lineup and the Tenacity lineup, and the Tenacity lineup was like the lower grade version of the 10s. Or that's how I saw it, at least. Like the entry level, get people started at, you know, the $350 price range. And then from there, you can buy up into the Losi 10 lineup, which when I bought my original 1.0 short course, the SCTE, it was like $550, $600. And so I'm kind of wondering, maybe there's a refresh coming there, because as I've been looking at the cars, you have the Ten-SCTE, but that's over on the TLR site. I was looking through their kits and rollers, but I'm not seeing anywhere like the 10 lineup listed as, you know, RTRs anymore. I went over, and so here, Losi, I guess this would probably be in the legacy stuff. You can find it. It's still saying it's available at retailers. And this was the 10MT, so this was a monster truck that they had based off of the 10 platform. And so that's kind of interesting. You know, those were a very popular lineup. Metal chassis, really durable stuff. You know, came brushless. So, you know, I was looking at the truggy here. There was the 10. So that's the monster truck. And these were 2016. So that you're seeing videos on these here. So that's 3 years ago. Excuse me. You know, and they bottomed out the pricing on them, so they're out of stock. But they, at one point, I think at Christmas or something, they kind of ran the pricing down on them. So I'm wondering about that. All right, so we've got a few more things in here. I want to jump back to the chat, give you guys a chance to say what you think there might be. But I'm just kind of looking through the lineup. That's whenever I hear that there's a new release coming, the first thing I do is start looking around to see what might be coming. So I'm going back up for a while. Jake, somebody said they just bought the Axial Capra. True Boys is in the house. True Boys RC. Yeah, so it was Jake Ryman said he bought an Axial Capra. So did I, man. Got some of the Hyrax tires for it today at Hobbytown, as well as a quick run 80 amp ESC that I'm going to try out. I don't know if I'm going to put it in that or if I'm going to bring over the Axe system, which is kind of what I'm leaning toward. But I got some paint in that. We're going to do an RC Conspiracies Capra. It's going to be a themed truck a little bit there. I'm seeing Green Frog is congratulating him, Jake, and saying he has a wise choice on the Hyrax tires. Well, that's what I got too. So congratulations to me as well. Little pat on my own back. Roadside RC says monster truck. Oh man, wouldn't it be so cool if they came out with a monster truck? Solid axle monster truck would be really, really awesome. They're the performance line. Give us a high performing, awesome solid axle. I'd be all over that. BLX Matt says $649.99. What was that for? Pricing. I'm getting alerts here. Maybe somebody's sending us some info. My headphones aren't working very well today. Nope. So, it's not a Nitro Trophy truck. That's for sure. Josh Elkin says he asked him. He said probably won't happen. Scott Mybeck says short course with Fox and Lucas oil sponsors on the body. Okay, Scott, what do you think though? Is it going to be the Tenacity lineup? Is it going to be the lower end? So I'm thinking it could be something like that, but because of the controller, I'm thinking it's going to be the higher end line, and I'm hoping that's the 10 line. I mean, I used to buy the 10 RTR and think they were awesome. Those are what used to be on our shop shelves. Scottzilla is agreeing and saying what Scott said. Scottzilla, you race your truck. Is the Losi TLR something that's being raced there? We don't have the race scene here very much, although at the oval track they are doing the short course now, so I'm kind of getting back into it. I actually gave my original Losi away. Bob Ravens in here said the TRX4 meme on Facebook was killing him. Yeah, man, it's the funniest thing. Mark Caldwell is asking for thoughts on the Primal Raminator that just came out. I think it's so cool. I really want one. The person to look into with that is Foundry RC. He's going to have some really cool updates on that. Trash Can Ninja Conspiracy. When are the new MIP 1/5 scale tools coming? That is a conspiracy. Scott Still says we have TLRs and Technos. Now, am I right, Scott? The last TLR, like the last update to that was 3 years ago. So, but I don't know. The kid has a controller. I'm thinking it's going to be ready to run. I could be wrong, but he's also at a bike track, which makes me think more the Basher line, but not fully Basher, but not. I don't know. The racers always buy the kits, so I'm thinking this might not be a kit. I don't know, but maybe they just put that in there for branding. Gave the kid a decent radio without going up to like the 5C. But you don't usually just buy that one to put into a kit. You would buy probably the upgraded one. So, I don't know. So many questions. So yeah, this was the other one. So they had 3 of them that I could find. They had this, oh, here's what it's called, the Ten-SCBE. So it's not like the desert buggy, like the other ones with the DB. They do a SCBE. And it's just a multi-panel body and roll cage system that basically looks like a 10 short course minus the bumpers at a wing and a cage. It actually looks pretty cool now that I'm looking at it. So it would take that short course truck and give it kind of a basher look, kind of off-road. They're showing it here on some trails. So this is an older video. I know Basher Boy and some of the Glamosphere buddies would like seeing something like this come out, right? Go back here and hold up the Glamosphere. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Get it in the shot here where the camera is and the microphone. Like, this needs to be right where the microphone is. So I got that from RC Basher Boy to do some run videos with, kind of get an impression of what it's like. It's not out anymore, but he loves it, and he wants everybody to have a chance at trying it. He wants it to go all over. Actually, it's about over on tour and about to go back home to him. It's been away for a while. So what do you guys think? So they've shown us that they've got some new buggies coming out. I don't believe that the buggies are what they're going to announce. I think that maybe it is, but I doubt it. You can jump buggies at a BMX track, but that wouldn't be my guess. So, I'm testing out. That's cool. Sweet. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like RC Conspiracies. I got one of these like Stream Deck thingies that have all the buttons that you push to kind of tell it what to do. And whenever I push this button here, it says, don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like. We can make it say whatever message you want, but plus it tells me that there's 39 people in here live with us right now. So welcome, guys. And allows me to jump around to the different screens. So here is that buggy, SCBE, that I was talking about. I had to find a video of it. And it looks like a short course truck with a cage on it. So for those Glamosphere people out, this would be a cool bring back. The monster truck, though, would be awesome for people like me, big monster truck fan. They're all the same kind of platform on the 10 line. So if they could just bring back a 10 line, that would be awesome. I would look at actually getting a 10 short course truck to race again. Bob Raven says he hopes Viterra makes a comeback. They fell off the face of the earth. I think that there's probably a little bit of worry around that with the Twin Hammers happenings, is my guess. RC Basher Boy says that is a real 10. The new Tenacity DB is not as great as this one. Now, do you have that one, RC Basher Boy? I think you were saying last time we were talking about Losi, and you were talking about some of these different trucks. So yeah, somebody just jumped in. Awesome Inflatables Halloween and Christmas. Says, I love the alien you have. Thank you. He's our little remote control alien. We call him Servo. Or at least I do. Basher Boy calls him something else. But yeah, so somebody was saying maybe they'd put their new electronics in it. We were talking about electronics on Monday. That would be interesting. Maybe they'll bring all of them back. Maybe there'll be a whole refresh on this whole lineup. Although even like these have just been, refinements, I feel like, on these, because they're pretty great performing trucks. Scott Zill saying the Techno has been out for a while as well. And so, yeah, maybe they're all happy with how they're doing it. Doesn't need an upgrade. The only thing is that the 10 line was sold in stores to normal bashers that want to get into it. Not even bashers, but they want kind of high performance vehicle that's already put together for them. So Basher Boy saying difference between the two is the 10-SCBE has aluminum chassis, Tenacity DB has plastic chassis. Yeah, and I think that's the idea. Like, there's the 10 and the Tenacity, and the Tenacity is like gonna be the budget line of the upper series, kind of like what Arma is doing. You want to have that brand recognition vehicle that gets somebody that's new, that just says, dude, that one's cool, it's got a Fox body on it, and they buy it and then they like it, but they see there's other Losis out there that are more expensive and probably better because they have a more expensive price tag and because everybody points out all the cool new things that they have in them. So it's brushless, it's metal parts, it's all these things. And so yeah, I mean, it's what they need to do in order to keep and to get a new purchasing base. Let's just say that. Let's call it a purchasing base. But new customers. And get them in at a lower price point. Get the name in their hands so that they'll want to buy that same name a little bit more. Jake, this is my crazy cat person cup filled with Coke Zero. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, ridiculous. I saw it. I went to go in and get new ones. All of ours were fish themed, and I had a sea turtle one that I really liked, and it fell and cracked. And so we went in to buy a new one, and they had no sea turtle ones. Bed Bath & Beyond used to have a whole section of these Tervis cups, but I think the Yetis and all that put them out of business. Not out of business, but they definitely took a market share away from them, and so there's not as many Tervis available at my Bed Bath & Beyond, but they had this hilarious cat one with all the different types of cats on it, and so I got that. And you've probably seen it in other ones. So I got back late. I needed some caffeine. Threw some Coke Zero in, and that stuff's my jam. Bob Raven, didn't they refresh the 10 lineup a year ago? This is why I never got a Losi. I feel like they never keep a truck longer than a couple years. No, that was, I mean, the last videos I can really see on it is from 2016. Now, maybe you guys can help me find something and put a link or just tell me what to search and I'll pull it up on here. But the everything I found for the 10 lineup was in 2016. Scott Mybeck. So here we go. Conspiracies. This is a good way to do it. He thinks it has to be a short course or a monster truck for the Lucas Oil sponsor. I think, don't they sponsor all kinds of off-road stuff? I think any of the three in that lineup could be Lucas Oil sponsored. Basher Boy's saying the Losi Tenacity DB looks like the Vetera Glamisphere. The difference is one is two-wheel drive, the other is four-wheel drive. Yeah, so Glamisphere is two-wheel drive. And it would really benefit from having AVC in it, and for people like me. And the other is four-wheel drive and doesn't really need AVC because you can drive really well with four-wheel drive. RC Basher Boy, yeah, the Tenacity was the update to the Losi lineup because they wanted to play in that lineup of that $350. So Arma's coming in with theirs at like $300, and so they now have one that sits at $350, which is more of a performance line anyway, and so that extra $50 seems like, it's justifiable to them. I think so as well. Drog 343 says he missed most of this. What is the Kraken? That's a good question. We didn't actually, I think I skipped right over the Kraken. But the Kraken has a new RC coming out. We can go over and take a look at that. Well, they're hoping to bring it to market. It's called the Stryker. I think it looks really cool. I think it's kind of an interesting model to come out with as a 1/10 scale, because it's not actually 1/10 scale of the product that it is. It's just a 1/10 scale platform, standard size for like what would be those trucks we were just looking at, the Losis. But I don't know, is there that huge of a market for a UTV style RC? Are there that many people that would see it and think that's cool enough to get behind it on an Indiegogo platform? I mean, I would, but you know, I don't know how big the market is for that. It just seemed like an interesting, when they have such a cool looking Kraken 5th scale trophy truck, you know, I might have gone and tried to do that as a shrunk down and jump into that lineup where in the 10th scale, you've got the Losi Super Baja Ray, but you've lost the Axial Score's gone. The Yeti is gone in that lineup. So I don't know, but here's a couple of pictures of it. Now, these are all prototypes that he's gotten put together that he wants to do some tests with, 3D printing, and it's definitely an interesting design. Some of the layouts, how it sits to me. I like it a lot, actually. So that's what I can say about that. Here it is with the stickers and the graphics on it. I think it looks really cool. This is probably not going to be 3D printed. I can't imagine this being molded. I'm guessing it's going to be Lexan, but I don't know. I could be wrong. So here's the underside of the chassis where you can see kind of how some of this is laid out. Kind of an interesting trailing arm, but it does have shocks on the trailing arms. But it's kind of a weird way that the dog bones go in and everything connects back here to like this trailing arm. And the links are kind of interesting. Or I don't know, they're not links, they're suspension arms, I guess, that come over, but then you've got your drive shaft here. It's just an interesting design. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I wonder impacts, though, you know, how that will break because it's right to the wheel like that. I don't know. I'm curious enough, though, that I signed up. I didn't put any money toward it yet, but I'm definitely looking at it. So, Tank's asking, there's some more stuff here in the chats. What's the Kraken going to be priced at? It's about $379, I think, is what they had. And I don't know if that's for the ready to run or if that's for the kit. They had two options. The TLR 22T came out 2 years ago. What else do we have here? RC Basher Boy, in my opinion, Losi needs to bring back BND. They need to retire the Spektrum SMART and bring back DSMR2. I don't see them bringing back BND. The problem is that nobody bought it. It's another SKU that hobby shops have to carry and that they have to stock, and the packaging, boxing, all of that, it just doesn't work in the surface vehicles for some reason. Everybody agrees about the B&D, but every time it comes out, nobody buys it. I don't think that they should bring back the DSMR2 because it's going to increase the price. And so there's so many people that don't run Spektrum receivers and don't want to bind to it anyway. And that's the other thing. You know, you do a bind and drive, that's only going to sell to Spektrum people. And so you lose a whole market of Futaba people, all of these different people. They'd rather have the kit. So they can't win. They've chosen a cheap route, which doesn't add too much price to it. It allows people that don't have any controller to be able to buy the car and drive it. And so I'm all for not paying extra for something that, you know, they do it with the SMT10s or whatever with the tactics before. I like that I didn't pay a lot of extra for that because it wouldn't bind over to anything that I had. And if it was like for binding to a higher end tactic controller and they charged me an extra 30 to 50 bucks for it, you know, I don't want to pay that much more for a car. I'm going to rip the system out of it and put in a Spektrum receiver. So that's my thoughts on it. You know, they can't win. Nobody's going to be happy with them. I say just keep the prices low. And the prices are so low now compared to anything that was out before. Getting these brushless cars at the prices that we're getting them at now is crazy anyway, that they're fully ready to run. That's my 2 cents. For what it's worth. 2 cents. Tank did send me a video. And while I'm over here on Facebook, did everybody see this new Proline body for the X-Max? Jeep Gladiator. Kind of an interesting choice to make it for the X-Max instead of a crawler, but seems like it's just gonna have a big area up here for pressure on landings to crack and break stuff. Not to be a negative Nancy. All right, let's go into my messages from the tank and see the video he sent me. He could be our new graphic. He'll be the new logo. Screenshot that bad boy and put it on his shirt. That's awesome. What are you using to do that? I need to do a whole show like that. RC Fest Studio Production says soon, buddy, soon. So yeah, tomorrow we'll find out. Bob Raven says pretty sure everyone who wanted a UTV RC got that J Concepts body for their Slash. There is that. I still am trying to get one of those actually. They were showing them at the No Limit RC Monster Jam, and I told him I wanted one, and he said he thought he had one, but when I went to get it, he didn't. And then I found out that somebody else had bought one. and it was probably the only one. I just talked to the guy. James Price said he's using Snapchat or something. Craig McClellan says James, unbreakable bodies is the only way to go. James Price thinks we do need more options for the X-Max, though. Somebody's saying soon. Is that to the X-Max? RC Fest Studio Productions? Adam, are you saying soon to more bodies for the X-Max? Bob Raven says, speaking of radios, I'm going to pick up that new FlySky Noble NB4 sometime soon. Craig says, I made an X-Max build kit for myself to build. That's interesting. Did you get that at Jenny's RC? I'm going back through some of these comments here, the older ones. Scott says, younger generation that are into four-wheelers and side-by-sides, I think that is who they're after. Okay, I get that. Craig McClellan's giving away some stuff. Did they announce that, Craig? Or where are you getting this information? I kind of showed the limited edition. Going to look here and see if it's posted. They're not saying it. Hey Craig, where did you get your information from? We're waiting. He's saying that, oh, the Arma Army group. Okay, well, if it's there, we'll talk about it. I was not going to say I was going to not steal their thunder. I'd seen something pop up on it, and I was waiting. I was waiting to show it. So we'll go over there, and I'll preload it here. And we'll look at the new thing being announced by Arma. Something new, but still the same. I gotta find the post. Oh, Hobby Express. Where are they at? Is this over in Australia again? The time difference giving them all the takeaways on all this stuff. All right, well, here it is, guys. I was seeing it teasing earlier, red, white, and black like the Glamosphere. Hobbies Express 5 hours ago posted up this video of the limited edition 10th anniversary edition Outcast by Arma. So it's got a gloss matte finish, and it's got an etching on the bottom of it that is super sick looking. Let's see if we can find it on their site, or maybe on their Facebook here. Let's see, Hobby Express. Whoops, I can't type today. It's probably getting searched a lot. No, they're in Ohio. All right, so there's their picture of it. Do they have more? Do they show the underside of it? No. So it does have an undercarriage. It has silver aluminum parts instead of the red like normal. And it's going to be a shelf queen because of the chassis. The chassis is killer looking on the bottom of this thing. The plate on it. I happened to over a shoulder. I was at a hobby shop, and they got the email in, and it was popped up, and I looked, and I'm like, whoa, what's this? So yeah, it's gonna look cool. But man, these RC shops are just outing it. You know, they've got non-disclosures and all that. They've got to, I would think, but you know, it's Arma's to share, in my opinion. Something like that. They should have let them have the first crack at it. Whatever. I was trying to do that, even though I'd seen it. Wasn't a conspiracy in my mind, so it's not something I wanted to try and, bring out or do whatever. Some of those things, that's a big milestone for them. And, they've got stuff that they want to bring out for it. So based on the screenshot that I have and saw that had a broken link, there's going to be more that they're going to show us for it. So anyway, it's there. That's not what I wanted. But yeah. So those are kind of the updates. Again, going back to the Losi. What are we looking at? Here, if we look at their lineup, we can see the Tenacity DB XLE. It's a better view if you just search Losi on Google and then pick images. You can see all the different things in their lineup. And the thing that's missing to me, and it's kind of like the glaring, hey, where is this on their website, is the 10 lineup. And so I'd like to see a refresh in that. I'm not going to lie. It's it's the first, really performance car that I had, was the Losi Ten-SCTE. After I got the Traxxas Gravedigger, I upgraded because I thought it was going to do everything I wanted to, and it couldn't run at the track there at Debbie's RC World. Well, it could, but it wasn't very good. And so I said, what do I need to be able to get out there and do those jumps and clear everything? And they said, you want this. And so I picked it up. It took some saving, and it's funny, to have started that way, those two trucks. And then I got a buggy, 2-wheel drive buggy, 10th scale. And then, it just kind of snowballed from there. But that Losi 10 was really what, thrilled me. Once I saw the speed of that thing, and there's still a memory of it. I remember the first day I got it home. I had driven it out in the parking lot, whatever. And I got it home, super excited about this thing, like pumped to have it and take it out on that track I'd been working on in the backyard. It's just like these tiny little jumps, looking back. And I was playing chase with my son, and he'd run and I'd follow him. So he'd go and jump over the jumps with his feet, and he'd move out of the way and I'd jump him. One of them, he moved out of the way, but then he turned back in and I clipped him, boom, right in the side of the head at like speed, man. With that heavy thing, with that chassis, feet went up, landed completely on his side. Nothing, like no sound. I'm thinking, man, I just killed him. And then you just hear, blah, like crying like crazy. And I'm thinking, oh God, thank you. He's not dead. He's probably going to have a big, I thought, stitches or something for sure. But he wasn't even like worried about his head. He was all worried about his knee, because when he fell, he kind of scraped his leg a little bit. Anyway, that's a long story. But that's kind of where that 10 lineup sits in my mind, is like that really first performance RC that I had that could just tear up the backyard and just fly through the air. And so it'd be interesting to upgrade that lineup. Yeah, the 22SCTE race kit. That was even a couple years ago. So, RC Tanks and Trucks is in here for a second. He and Foundry are probably going to be talking fifth scales. The Losi MTXLs have been discontinued, unfortunately. Yeah. Foundry saying an MTXL 2.0 would make his day. Yeah, man. Maybe a solid axle one. Bob Raven says his first RC was an old school Rustler with a mechanical speed control. Old school Stinger motor. He loved it. He wanted the Emax so bad when it came out. Couldn't afford it. RC Basher Boys talking with someone, trying to find where that started with Trash Can Ninja. They're talking about remote controls. I'm trying to figure out how far up to go with it. Bar Harbor Basher was in the house. The people in the headphones are saying, Losi 10, Losi 10. Not. Come on, Basher boy. You know they're not doing nothing. All it is me listening to myself. But it's easier to talk to yourself when you hear it coming back. I'm not going to lie. Because it's kind of weird to just sit here and talk in a room and just have it go out there. But at least when you hear this kind of like deep reverberation in the headphones, it kind of feels like you're talking with somebody. So what they're talking about, Trash Can Ninja said, RC Bash Boy, I know it sucks to sell remotes after you buy something new with cheap cost of Surface remotes, that their prices versus ours is just not going to happen. So I'm not sure where and how that conversation is going. Oh, he's talking about how they're the minority in wanting to bind and drive. Yeah, if you don't have a big enough thing, you know, like shops aren't going to want to carry it. Gangfire. Okay, now it's turning into like first RCs. Grangfire. Sorry, my first RC was a 1986 Tamiya Hotshot. Very cool. Craig McClellan was a Tyco Bandit. Oh, those things were awesome. Yeah, man. RC Basement was a second-hand Tamiya Sand Scorcher in 1984. Oh, Jake Ryman, my first RC was a Traxxas Stampede and is now 10 years old and still running strong. I know, right, man? Those things are indestructible. RC Tanks and Trucks says his was a Panda two-wheel drive 10cc. Very nice. Bar Harbor Basher says, yeah, definitely need a solid axle one. Yeah. All right. Foundry RC said, my first RC had a cable from the remote to the car. What about your first hobby grade one, Foundry RC? It probably was like it probably had an engine in it, right? You're such a motor guy. All right, here we go. Dennis says his was a Tamiya TA02 Supra Blitz. Having somebody coming to look at my DBXLE tomorrow. Ryman says his Stampede does quadruple backflips off a ramp. That's pretty cool, man. Foundry RC definitely cut the cord from his, that's for sure. He's got the big guns now. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in again. I just wanted to get some ideas out there. You know, I was looking over after I saw that graphic, which we'll just pull back up here, I guess, really quick. Show people that are coming in late what we were looking at. Was this picture was posted on Monday, and I didn't see it until Tuesday. And so I could have done an RC conspiracy about this on Monday. And then when I realized that, oh my goodness, well, they're going to release it on Thursday, I said, I'll do a hump day conspiracies, because I want to get out there before they called what it was, so we could kind of take some guesses at it. What is it going to be? And so I spent some time looking over their sites and kind of perusing what it could be, what it might be. And then I was like, what happened to the 10 lineup? So I don't know. I didn't actually look to see if it was still in stores. We could still see if they're selling it. Let's go to hobbytown.com and see. They have the Losi 10. No, not Tenacity. Losi 10 SCTE. Let's start there. Oh, no, it's the kit. So they do show this one. And that one still shows up because that's the TLR. But they don't have the Losi RTR version, which is what I was looking for. So RC Basher Boy's asking, are there any conspiracies on the Vetera Glamisphere? I think the only conspiracies that I've seen about said Vetera Glamisphere. Let's just pull it up here for people. The conspiracy is, for me, is how is this considered 1/8 scale? It's tiny. Minuscule. And why do so many people talk so well about this little thing? I don't get it. There's got to be a conspiracy about that as well. So there you go, Basher Boy. It would be destroyed by the Tenacity DB, probably. No, it looks really cool. It's more of a sand buggy, sand rail kind of a look. I dig it. It'd be cool to see it come back as a limited edition. Even if they want to call it the Losi Glamosphere. If they've totally gotten rid of the Viterra lineup, I wouldn't mind seeing it come back under a different name. So yeah. That's my thoughts on that. Anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Jake Ryman says, am I getting the Capra? It is ordered. I've got tires sitting over on my thing over there. I posted a picture. I have the micro servo ordered from Hobbytown. That should come in hopefully next week. And yeah, so we'll be getting that in and doing a build with that, and I can't wait. So you guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's kind of been a fun little show to work on. And if you looked at my YouTube feed, you'd see all of it's like how to do live stream stuff. And the Stream Deck was, after I messed up so many times hitting the wrong buttons, I'm like, we're going to get one of those. We're going to keep pushing this show forward. And we'll do it in some other ways. Podcasts for those of you who want to just listen later and not watch it live, but can't watch it and just want to listen. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, keep that aluminum foil close. Keep the RC controller in your hand, and message me if you guys hear anything about upcoming stuff, because I really want to know. And maybe we should do a conspiracy about what we think is going to happen over on RC Sparks. How much gold are they going to get for the end of the season? Has the thaw set in? I don't know. These are things we should know. Anyway, peace out, guys. Green Frog RC, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Breaking Silence, you too. Bob Raven, RC Basement, Jake Ryman. We'll see you guys.